Good morning, I hope you're well. Welcome to another video. As you can probably see behind me, if I get out of the way, I've come down the Avon this morning. It's about 10 o'clock now. I've come out for a couple of hours, perhaps 3 hours tops, to do a little bit of waggler fishing. Now, you may be able to hear on the mic, it's a bit windy. Storm Agnes has been through. It's supposed to be very windy today, but they've reeled back the forecast here for the wind. It's just a little bit blustery. We should be able to cope with it. Unfortunately, it's coming straight through that big gap there that you can see. It's coming straight in my face. But it does mean we'll be able to punch the Waggler out a bit, and we're going to fish some chub over by that willow over there. Very, very simple today. As I say, we're going to fish the Waggler. Got the bait weights right there. I've just got a couple of pints of maggots with me. That's it. It's going to be as simple as that. Now, what I fancied doing, if you saw the video, I think 3 or 4 videos ago now, I tried out for the first time my Avon power float, 12-foot power float. Now what I've done is I've geared this up with a different reel to that video. If you've not seen it, I'll stick you a link up there. But I found the reel I was using in that video is a little bit stiff. It was a Dower 125. It's a little bit stiff. I think it needs a bit sorting out. So having not had a chance to do that, I've had a look in my little tackle cupboard of stuff I just tend to buy off eBay. And I found this. For those of you not of a certain age and not in the know, this is a DAM CFM. It's a closed face reel. As you can see, I thought I'd give it a go out. I've never used it before. It's obviously second hand because it looks like it's from the 80s, to be honest. But I thought I'd give it a run out. I had a little fiddle with it at home. Seems lovely. A little bit heavier than the 125s, but yeah, fancy giving that a run out. So it's as simple as that, really. We've got that on that end. We've got, as I say, the power float, and I'm just going to stick a Waggler on here. I was going to use a 7BB in here because we're not going to cast very far. However, with this blustery wind, I think I'm going to go on a 9. We'll see how it is. I think I'm shotted for a 9 anyway. Unfortunately, it's a bit long. It's about 8 inches long, which is not ideal because we're going to be fishing up in the water here. But I think we're going to need that extra weight just to... Let's have a look at that. Yeah, we're a little bit undershotted on there. But we're certainly shotted for that float. So I think we'll use this one. Stick another shot on here. And then we'll use this one. Right. Let's get cracking, shall we? So the idea today is just going to be maggots, 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 maggots. See if we can get the chub feed in that live under that willow over there. I've fished this swim a couple of times before, as I'm sure you've seen, if you've seen any of the previous videos over the last sort of month. First time I had 7 chub out. Second time, just 3. It switched off completely. It was very strange. 3 chub out when we got them going, and then it completely switched off. But it was very, very windy that day as well. And I was really struggling to get the float out there. I was using a dumpy little, almost like a pellet waggler. I was making a big old splash as it went in, so that may have been the reason. Today we'll fish a little bit more delicately, as the wind is allowing, just about. There's a lot less flow on than there was that day as well. It was rattling through. I wouldn't have been able to get out this far that day. I would have been about here. It's about a foot less on than there was that day. It just means the bait will go through a bit slower as well. Just to run you through the gear, as I say, I've got a Drake Waggler on there. It's a little bit long, really. But I've just got some number 6s strung out down the line. Home tied hook link with a number 18, or size 18, I should say. It's a Drennan Specialist Wygate. Very blustery, as you can probably hear. Keep getting the gusts of wind. And then it sort of dies off. We'll have to pick our moments to cast and feed, I think. Feeding's not too bad. You can punch the maggots out there. So obviously we want to try and get the chub out from under that tree. We'll keep these going in. I'm putting about, I don't know, eight maggots in at a time. Fingers crossed we can have some fish. Right, I'm fishing at the moment about, I don't know, 3 foot deep, something like that. We'll see how that fares. Oh, blimey. Get used to this reel as well. As I say, well, that's a bite. We'll keep feeding. We're really after some nice chub today. As we have our power float and fairly decent, robust gear. So we're not really planning on catching smaller stuff. I'll stick all the information on all the gear I'm using down in the description below so you can see exactly what I'm using, line and etc. We're getting lots of bites, certainly. Not sure they're off chub. There we go, that's a bite. Certainly some fish there. And the wind's not proving to be too much of a problem at the moment. We've had a bit of a flush through. The river's running off at the moment. It does seem to have sparked the fish into feeding. So it's going to be very important to keep this bait going in today. Want almost a constant rain of maggots going in through the water column. Well, this reel's feeling nice, I have to say. It's a little bit heavy. I think they got a nickname of the coffee grinder for obvious reasons. Lots and lots of bites. I think we'll need to get into a rhythm of feeding. Oh, I've been mugged. Feeding and casting. Now, I've got a keep net with me today, which I often don't use. Usually don't use, but we can't be putting chub back in here. We'll get 1 or 2 of them if we do that, and that'll be the lot. Oh, God, I felt the line tighten then. And again. Blimey, there's some fish about. Not quite what we're after, I don't think, at the moment. This reel's behaving very nicely, I have to say. Let's just test it on a decent fish. Or several decent fish. Fingers crossed. Can take a few minutes to get them going in here. My experience. But they're chub at the end of the day. I think they can only resist a little free food drifting past their house for so long. There we go. What did I say? Oh, he's trying to get back under there. No. God, blimey. See the reeds moving. God. Come on, out. Oh, in that tree. No. God, that caught me by surprise. I think that's probably going to swim in for a few minutes. But, God, I wasn't expecting one that quickly. Only went at it about 10 minutes. Oh, here he is. Of course, trying to get under my feet. Gotcha. Whew. Well, that's a cracking start. It's a nice fish to start with. Fab. Oh God, how's about that? Cracking start. Wonderful stuff. He certainly wanted to get back into those trees. Cracking. That's why you need decent gear. Just to stop that initial run. You got straight back into there's some rushes over there. You probably see he actually got into there. Like I say, I've got very stout gear on. Got the same sort of gear on that I use for barbel fishing down the Y. 021 mainline, 019 hook link. Even so, I'm kind of pulling as hard as I feel like I want to. Right, I say you charged about in the swim, so I'm not sure it's gonna come back to life too quickly. We'll perhaps feed for 5 or 10 minutes and then have another cast. Well, the reel acquitted itself well. It's a little bit noisy, but you know, it's not new. You can't moan too much. I can't remember how much you paid for it either. It wasn't very expensive. It's one of those purchases where I thought, I've never used one of those before. Let's buy one of those. Do love a close face reel. They're so easy to use when you're trotting. No messing about with bail arms. Just turn the handle a tiny little bit and you're in touch. For those of you who don't know, but it's just with close face reels, it's just a case of clicking the button on the front, which gives it effectively removes the bail arm. But then as soon as you start to wind, it engages the pins again and picks up the line. So easy to use when trotting. They're not really built for catching decent fish. I tend to abuse them a little bit, you know, barbel fishing with them and stuff, but they're just so nice to use for this sort of fishing. There's no, like I say, messing about putting bail arms over and taking bail arms off, you know, two-handed stuff. I can operate it just with one hand, apart from the winding, obviously. There we go. What's this? It's not very big. Perch. Thought it felt very jag. Cool. You can tell autumn's here. There's a right bite to this wind. Blimey. I think it's woolly hat time. So nice to find a swim on the Avon that will fish during the day when the water's as clear as it is now. Certainly the depth it is out there, you'll certainly be able to see the bottom from up higher. I mean, I can see the bottom in front of me here, and as you can see, I'm groin deep in water. Half went under. I've got quite a lot of the tips showing this float today. Purely because, like I say, we're chub fishing and they're not exactly shy, are they? They grab the maggots and they're gone. I've probably got best part 20 mil of the tips showing. It's a bit tricky here because we've got the main flow of water between us and the float. And what I'm doing is, as I cast, I'm just lifting the rod and letting a bow of line go out because the wind's sort of blowing this way. It's putting a bow in the line, and then that slowly catches up with the float and overtakes it. And then when I get down, sort of out of the sort of bite zone there, I can just give it a little mend like that, just pick it up. Managed to fill this reel up with water. It's not very happy about it. It's lovely when that wind drops. Every time we run down to there, we either a roach or a perch. Purposely not firing these maggots right level with the tree as well, because I want to pull the fish out. I don't want to be catching them right on the edge of the tree. I want them to be coming out to get the maggots. That was a very chubby bite. Oh, these maggots getting chewed to pieces. Well, it's a fish of chuck. What's this one? A greedy dace. The thing about the Avon, it's so nice fishing here. You just never know what you're going to catch. Cracking river from that point of view. Could catch anything within reason. Probably not going to catch any trout or grayling this far down, but certainly some further up and in the tributaries. And it's a fish of chuck now, as I say. This time it's a roach. Well, this is wonderful. Thoroughly enjoying myself. You never know whether that next bite is going to be, well, it could be anything. Could be a big roach. Could be a big dace. Could be a 6-pound chub. Could be a tiny perch. Could be anything. Especially this time of year. There we go. I thought that was probably going to be something decent the way that went under. Oh, well. Well, fortunately, he's coming mid-river. Sort of. Just had that characteristic slower bite. Yeah, this reel's a bit noisy when we've got something decent on the end. He's just trudging. Oh, this is cracking. There's some streamer weed down there, so we need to be a bit careful. We reach for the landing net. Not quite yet. He's trying to get in the streamer weed. Got him. Fantastic. Well, this is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. God, he's a lovely fish. Lovely deep-bodied fish. Well, that's about that. As I say, lovely deep-bodied fish. Cracking. Wonderful stuff. Thoroughly enjoying this. We're not catching just chub. We get plenty of bites. Absolutely fantastic. I could probably shallow up, to be honest. Because they're... that one certainly took the maggots pretty much as soon as they went in. We'll leave it for now, because it does mean we are getting some bites further down as well, and you never know what might be down there. We're catching some roaches and perch. You never know, there might be some decent ones down there, so it'd be nice to fish through the layers as the bait goes down. Oh, this is wonderful. And I'm liking this reel. I think perhaps it wants just taking apart and a bit of grease putting in it, but aside from that, it's a shame I don't know how old it is. It's my first ever reel I used was a close face reel, which is why I'm quite at home with them. I think the 501 was my very first reel, Abu 501. I've got 506s and 507 at the moment, but the trouble with them is, the only problem I have with them is how noisy they are. When you wind them, they do make a real noise, and obviously being close to the microphone, it's a bit of an issue, really. Oh, what we got down there? Cool. Is that a dace? Blimey, that's a dace. It is a dace. Cool, look at that. Wow. What was I saying about catching some some fish? What I find with close face reels as well, which is what makes them a lot easier to use, is the leg on the reel there is a lot shorter generally than fixed spool reels. So it's much easier to reach the line. This one especially, to be honest, it's lovely. It's really short. So to reach the line, it's so easy. Just to check that line with your finger. And also when you strike, just to trap the line. Float's bobbing away through there. Oh, the sun's trying to come out. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to have a lovely overcast day today. I have to say, I wouldn't mind too much though. It's not very warm stood in here at all. Oh dear. I've got these old waders on because they're a bit thicker and a little bit warmer. And I've still got my thermals on and a pair of trousers. And I'm still cold. This is so many bites. I'm sure if I put a size 18 or 20 red Drennan red maggot hook on, we'd be connecting with loads of these, but I think if I did that, I've only got hooks to nylon. If I did that, I'd soon get smashed up by this chub. Especially with the flat power float rod on that I'm using. Not exactly forgiving in the tip. But it's got some backbone, which is perfect for this sort of thing, really. I say not ideal for catching smaller fish, really, but certainly perfect for catching these chub and getting them out of that tree, getting them away from that tree quite quickly. But we are bumping off a lot of smaller fish. Cool, that looked like a nice bite then. Half expecting to connect to something decent. Never mind about catching roach though. Do need to get after some big roach this year. Keep promising to. I do catch them at the tributaries. I'm sure there's some big ones around on the Avon itself. Oh, I'll catch some roach. Just having a little play about with the depth. So we've not had a chub bite for probably at least half an hour now. So I'm just having a little play. See if we can start getting some bites again. I've come really shallow. That's not worked. I can come from fishing about 3 foot. I've come up to about 2 foot. And the bite's just completely stopped. So I've gone down to sort of 4 foot now, something like that. It looks like we're just starting to drag bottom. Probably 4.5 foot now. But we're still fishing on the drop. So it's not a problem. Just trying to maximise the efficiency of the rig, really. If the bites have stopped, so we've probably been fishing about an hour now. We'll give it another hour, but I'm not going to try and bore them out. We'll knock it on the head in an hour's time if we're not getting any more bites. Maybe for whatever reason they've gone back under the tree. We've had a load of canoes messing about, sort of school kids in canoes, been messing about just upstream and turning around and making loads of noise, screaming and shouting and sort of banging oars on canoes and stuff. It's a school group. I think it's from my daughter's school, to be honest. I recognise one of the teachers' names. But we'll give it another hour, see if we can get them back on the feed, if that has been the reason. It has gone a little bit quiet. It's gone a little bit quiet on all the fish front, really. The roach, the perch, everything has gone a little bit quiet. We're having the odd one, but it was a bite of chuck. It's certainly not anymore. Bloke's bouncing away. Nearly got me striking. There we go. What's this? Shooting in. The perch. Well, the perch seem to be on the feed. If nothing else is at the moment. Well, this is not the quietest reel in the world, I have to say. It's nice though, I do like it. Like I said, we'll grease it up, see if it'll quieten the gears down a little bit. There we go. Well, I've just gone from double maggot back to single maggot, and I hooked it. Well, back in the day we used to call it handlebar style, across the middle, because maggots do tend to sink horizontally. Might be a coincidence, but we've had a bite straight away. He's no monster, but it proves they're still there. A cracking scrap. Trying to get me on that stream of weed. Come on. Got him. Fab. As I say, maybe a coincidence. But it certainly worked. Clearly been down there troughing, got a landing net full of maggots. So, how about that? Cracking. God, it's absolutely full. Stuffed to the gills with maggots. So he's clearly been ignoring my hook bait for goodness knows how long. The amount of maggots in his mouth. Well, if I lift the landing net up you'll see. There's maggots all over it. Yeah, there you go, look, and again. I think this is it? I don't know, it feels like a perch. Yeah, second run through. Bite it straight away again. It does feel very perchy. It feels like a better one. It is a better one. Well, we're having a nice catch today. Not just chub. Nice stripey as well. If we can grab hold of him. How about that? Cracking. Well, handlebar style. As I say, we used to call it handlebar style back in the day. I'm not sure what they call it these days, but the maggots basically, I've hooked it across them through the middle, so it's hooked right in the middle of the body, so it hangs horizontally in the water. Oh, I thought that was a better fish then. It's shooting around like crazy. I think it's probably a chublet. It's not. It's a lovely dace. It's about that. That's a cracking dace. Well, certainly not going to complain about catching them. Wonderful. There's another dace. It's shooting about. No, it's a roach. Well, we're getting through to a few nicer roach now. Cracking. Oh, there we are. There we are. Oh, hello, hello, hello. I was hoping for another one before we went. This took a while. We're connected again. Feels decent fish, this does. God, certainly feels a decent fish. Blimey. It's trudging him out mid-river. My reel's getting very noisy, as you can probably hear. Well, that looks like a decent fish. What's he done? Oh, he's going to try and get under the keep net. Literally. Caught. That's a proper one. Don't. There we go. Got him. I was going to wrap us up around there. God, that's a proper one. Blimey. That's the one we came for. Wow. What a fish that is. Have a quick look at this one. That's about that. He's probably pushing 5. Not quite, I think, but he's not far off with that belly. Got belly like me. Wonderful. Absolutely cracking. Fantastic. Wonderful stuff. Well, I think we'll give it a bit longer, shall we? I'm not going to give it too much longer, because I've got stuff to do. I think we've had a couple of hours at it now. Certainly a very enjoyable couple of hours, and that's the icing on the cake, isn't it, that one? There's certainly some nice fish in this stretch. As I say, that one's probably not quite 5, but he's pushing 5. We'll perhaps put the scales on him before we go, just to make sure I've got my eye in. But he looks that way to me. Blimey, a bite straight away then. That was quite a long way down, that bite, from him. And that fish, it was a lot further down than I have been. It's about in front of me. Most of the other ones have been pretty much as it's gone in. That was a bit further down there. I'm enjoying this style of fishing as well these days. Do much more enjoy running a float about than ledgering. I mean, obviously, has its place. You're a lot more limited conditions-wise when you float fishing, so I do like to do it when I can, because a lot of the time you just can't. You know, if the river's too coloured, there's no point running a float around. Definitely need to get some grease on this reel though. Starting to sound like my 506 now. Oh, there we are. In again. Oh, come on. No, 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 no. God, blimey. Oh, no, no, no. Just had a couple of little knocks on the float and I left it. I think we made enough on him to get him out of that tree. Just about. God. Blimey. We have. He's clear of the tree. Wow. Feels another reasonable fish, the way he was trying to get back in that tree does. I think he's a monster, but feels a decent fish. He's another reasonable fish, yes. Oh, that's another cracker. Got him. How can I go home when I'm catching fish like this? So guys, I've just put the scales on this one. Or put him on the scales, I should say. He's certainly around about the same size as that last one, perhaps a little bit bigger. This is 414, this one. Absolutely cracking fish. That's wonderful, isn't it? Absolutely wonderful. Like I say, I'm supposed to be going home, but I can't go home when I'm catching fish like this, can I? Definitely not. We'll give it another 10 minutes. Well, that was a long way down the swim. Oh, blimey. I was just about to bring it back. That's a long way down. Well, I was just thinking I need to go home. And I just thought I'd just finish off these maggots. Oh, he got stuck then. Come on. Oh, that's another nice fish. What a session. What a session. That's 6 now. 6 chub we've had. Have a quick look at him. Here he is. About that. Cracking. Right, as I say, I'm just going to finish these maggots off and then we'll go. I've stayed much longer than I intended. Certainly been here 2.5 hours now. If not a bit longer than that. But nothing so pressing I couldn't give it another half an hour longer than intended. But yeah, that bite was quite a long way down. I was literally just about to turn the handle to wind it back in. So I've been getting all these bites up here. So clearly that one was downstream. I actually saw the bite and I thought it was going to be another perch because I've been catching the perch down there. Right, that's it. I'm going to call it a day at that. Missed a bite on the last run through, but I think it was a small fish. It was a small fish bite down in the perchy area over there. So we'll call it a day there. That's been absolutely fantastic. That's been wonderful. We'll have a quick look what we've caught. I'm going to mess these fish about too much, but we certainly had a net full, that's for sure. We'll have a quick look. Let's say we've had a cracking netful there, as I'm sure you can see. Some really, really nice chub in there as well. Let's have just a look at those couple of high fours. If we can. If they get out, they get out. There we go, there's one of them. They're very lively now, as you can see. Come on, out you go, fella. Yeah, very lively. That's one. Where's the other big one? Just there. And that's the other one. Come here. There we go. Right, we'll get this net inside out and just let all the others make their own way out. Go on, fishes, off you go. I feel them all brushing at my legs. Fab. We all gone? No stragglers? Well, what a cracking session that turned out to be. I stayed, as I say, much longer than I intended. I think I've probably done nearer 3 hours than 2. It was going to be a 2-hour session, but when you're catching like that, you've got to make hay while the sun shines, haven't you? It's been wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Now, I've got a session planned on Sunday with a friend of mine called Nick, another Nick, to do some predator fishing. He fancies catching a zander, so he's not local to the area, so he's going to come over and we're going to have a go for some zander on Sunday. Till then, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it half as much as I did. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your fantastic support, and I'll see you all again very soon.